Ariana Grande is by far one of the biggest pop stars of recent years. She started her career on Nickelodeon and then went on to dominate the music industry. The mid to late 2010s were practically owned by Grande's music, as she was constantly topping charts, with Grande having 9 #1 Billboard charting songs and 22 top hit songs like God Is a Woman, Thank You Next, and 7 Rings, proved that she was a force to be reckoned with. It was obvious that she had her fans wrapped around her finger. Some would even say it's like she put a spell on the masses and her music had her fans in a trance. Well, if we listen to what Ariana Grande said in a recent interview, she basically admits to just that. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we will be talking about Ariana Grande. Let's get right into it. There was almost something magical about how Ariana Grande took over the music industry. She was one of the few artists who was able to successfully transition from child star to massive pop star. Today, she is a top-selling 2-time Grammy Award-winning artist, reaching a level in music that most artists can only dream of. Ariana is known for having one of the most unique voices in music, which most will say contributed to her success. Many people early on compared Grande's voice to Mariah Carey's, another pop icon who has one of the most unique voices in music history. While Grande's singing chops definitely played a part in her massive career, there might be something else entirely behind her immense success, something that most of you will admit is quite sinister. Recently, during an interview Grande did, she revealed something about herself that not many knew about. I myself already knew this about her, as I had exposed her over 3 years ago in one of my first videos I made for YouTube, but the general public and especially her fans most likely had no clue. In the interview, while Grande was talking about a song on her new album called Saturn's Return, she told the interviewer that she was a witch.
Is there an in-between anywhere where rap meets the universe?
Yeah. I'm somewhere in between. I've learned. I don't know. I said somewhere between being a literal witch, literal witch.
A literal witch, literal witch.
I'm not kidding. And being like the most realistic, cut, dry, like, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
As you heard for yourself, Grande openly admitted that she is a literal witch. When the interviewer started laughing, she reassures that she is not kidding, reinstating that she is a literal witch. Ariana openly confessed to being a witch without any hesitation at all. I have known this since I first saw one of her music videos, as it was full of occult symbols and references. In fact, Ariana has actually made it clear since the beginning of her career that she is a witch and an occultist, as she has referenced it time and time again. For example, one of her biggest songs is called God Is a Woman. As much as the girls think this song is about girl power and women empowerment, it's actually about the divine feminine and the ancient occult practices of Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is a form of Jewish occult mysticism. The Kabbalah actually inspired many forms of occult practices, like 2 groups we often talk about on this channel, the Freemasons and Thelema. The song God Is a Woman is about the Kabbalistic concept of divine feminine. I am 100% positive Ariana is a Kabbalist because she often used to wear the secret red bracelet that Kabbalists wear to represent their alliance to the secret mystical school. In fact, a lot of celebrities from the 2000s like Ashton Kutcher, Madonna, and Britney Spears are all members of the Kabbalah. Britney Spears herself actually admitted to being initiated into the Kabbalah by Madonna in her recent book. Mac Miller was also a part of the Kabbalah, and much of his later work was all inspired by its teachings. I actually first saw Ariana wearing this red bracelet in one of her first videos for her song Break Free, as Grande was wearing the red Kabbalah bracelet in a couple of scenes. Interestingly enough, this is her first hit song, and we can see evidence that she was already a part of the occult. What is taught in the Kabbalah is occult knowledge, and is much of the same of what is used by witches and occultists today. These secret teachings were originally intended to be only for the older Jewish men who dedicated several years to their religion. The teachings were based on mysticism and occult magic, something that is not allowed in Judaism or Christianity. So in ancient times, those who practiced Kabbalah kept it a secret. Many Kabbalists claim that the Kabbalistic knowledge in itself wasn't supposed to be evil. It's what people can do with that knowledge that is. This is why the Kabbalah would only recruit older men who had dedicated their lives to their religion. This was a way of protecting their sacred knowledge that they believed explained the important secrets of the world. As years went by, the knowledge ended up in the wrong hands, and many occult groups were created due to it. Kabbalah was in many ways the original Masonry. It is even believed that the Kabbalah had a huge influence on the fundamentals of Freemasonry. Masonry and the Kabbalah have the same hidden knowledge and seek enlightenment concepts. They both are secret teachings that you must be initiated in to acquire. They both practice ceremonial magic and esoteric rituals. It's the same concept. The Kabbalah is looked at the same as any other occult teachings. This is why it had to be practiced in secrecy and was banned by Abrahamic religions. Ariana Grande was initiated into the Kabbalah, and I know that connection played a role in her megastardom. I have actually done plenty of research into the Kabbalah and alchemy, and I think a video on the subject would be interesting. If that's something you want to see, comment Kabbalah below. And if enough of you want to see that video, I'll make sure to get it done. I believe Ariana might have been introduced to the occult while she was a child actor at Nickelodeon. In fact, I believe Dan Schneider was the man who initiated Ariana into the mystical order. I have already previously exposed Nickelodeon's connection to the occult. Just like everything else that comes from Hollywood, it's controlled by occultists. We first saw Ariana wearing the red bracelet in her video for Break Free. What's interesting about this is that Dan Schneider was the one originally behind Ariana Grande's music career, as he was trying to recreate his own TV star turned successful artist like Disney did with Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez. It is also alleged that Dan had an inappropriate relationship with Ariana when she was working for him at Nickelodeon. They were often seen very close, which, knowing Dan's reputation, could raise red flags. Dan Schneider, who is Jewish and in Hollywood, is more than likely a member of the Kabbalah like many others. The Kabbalah is huge in Hollywood, specifically the subgroup called the Kabbalah Center. It has many of the biggest celebrities in Hollywood as members. I know that Ariana couldn't have been into the Kabbalah before her time at Nick because she is not Jewish. Ariana is Italian and grew up in a Roman Catholic household. The practices of the Kabbalah are actually banned by Catholics, so the Kabbalah's teachings wouldn't be something native to her or her family. So where did Grande get introduced to these teachings? This is something that she was obviously taught when she got into Hollywood. The one person Grande was around in Hollywood who was Jewish and could have been into the Kabbalah was Dan Schneider. I believe at a certain point, Dan initiated her before he set her up to have a huge career. If you haven't noticed, Ariana is one of the stars who work with Dan Schneider and hasn't come out to denounce him after the allegations made against him on the Quiet on Set docuseries. She even still follows Dan to this day on social media. This is odd to many, as it is widely believed Ariana was most likely another one of Dirty Dan's victims. Well, I know why Ariana has kept it quiet when it comes to Dan. It's because Dan was who initiated her into the Kabbalah, and she took an oath of secrecy. She is not allowed to speak badly of him. Ariana Grande was introduced to the occult at Nickelodeon, and I believe Dan was behind bringing her in. Throughout Grande's music since the beginning, she has hidden hermetic and esoteric themes and symbols all over her songs and videos, letting us know the truth about her music the entire time. As we can see in this scene of her God is a Woman music video. In that video, we can see Grande placed inside of a pyramid while she can be seen doing this occult hand gesture. Right in the open, they showed the world that Grande is deeply into the occult. Most people didn't even realize it. If we listen to the rest of Ariana's interview, we find more clues that she is heavy into the occult. During the interview, she admits to using tarot cards for readings, admitting to have read the interviewer in the past.
The role of astrology in your life has meaning, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even tarot cards. When I went to the studio, you gave me a reading. You've been doing readings on set.
Yeah.
What do you look to astrology for? Is it understanding of what you're going through? Is it an understanding of what will be?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a tool to help us hear what we need to hear sometimes and kind of look forward with hope and awareness, and also reads us for filth sometimes. Sometimes we need to hear it, and just looking to something bigger than us to kind of help us make sense of it. Does that make sense?
Totally. By the way, if you don't know what it is when you're born, Saturn's in a certain position, and it takes 29 and a half years for Saturn to return to that position. And when it returns to that position, you are faced with deep awareness of oneself and a confronting of patterns, correct?
Yes.
And a wake up.
Course correction, one would say.
Course correction.
As you heard for yourself, Grande admits she does tarot card readings and is heavy into astrology. Now, what most people don't know is that the deck of tarot cards that most astrologers use is called the Book of Thoth, which was actually created by the infamous occultist Aleister Crowley. The entire concept of tarot cards is based on Egyptian gods and occult beliefs. So many people play around with these tarot cards not knowing what comes attached to these tools of the occult. I suggest you don't get involved in anything made by Aleister Crowley. We see more proof of Ariana's connection to the occult with her interlude called Saturn Returns, which is a part of her new album Eternal Sunshine. This all once again connects back to Aleister Crowley. As I exposed in the past, many occultists are worshippers of the god Saturn. Saturn was an ancient Roman god who was the most important god in Roman mythology. What's more important about this is that Saturn was the Roman version of the ancient Egyptian god Horus. We all know just how important Horus is to occultists. Aleister Crowley claimed that he was chosen by the Egyptian god Horus to be his messenger and essentially his prophet. Crowley claimed that Horus gave him the responsibility to bring forth the Age of Horus. Many occultists in Hollywood follow Crowley and have adopted his mission of bringing in the Age of Horus. The reason many occultists worship the god Saturn is because Saturn is really just another version of Horus. Horus is the sun or sky god many occultists channel during their rituals. Another hidden nod to her worship of Saturn is her song Seven Rings. While the song is a hip-hop pop catchy tune, there is something people totally missed about the title of the song. The reason Ariana named the song Seven Rings is because of the planet Saturn, which has exactly 7 main rings. According to NASA, if you can believe anything they have to say, Saturn has 7 main rings that are labeled in order in which they were discovered. Openly, Ariana Grande has been hiding her occult journey in her music. As innocent and pop as she comes off, she is a full-on witch who is deeply into occult practice. Many celebrities also worship Saturn in the music industry, and it's often women. Another celebrity we can see showing love to Saturn is Beyonce, who had a Saturn-themed magazine cover, or Adele, who has a Saturn tattoo. Even Doja Cat has photos holding Saturn. Saturn is Horus. They're one and the same, and this is why they use Saturn imagery. While Grande finally admitted that she is a witch out of her own mouth, she has shown us this for years. It's important to note that it's not only Grande who is a witch in the music industry. Beyonce is another witch in the music industry. A while back, I did a video on a real witch confirming Beyonce is a witch, and this witch states that Beyonce is most definitely a witch.
You're a witch?
Oh, I am a witch, but I don't do classes for everybody.
She's scared?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't, because you know they tell me Beyonce's a witch and that we should be scared. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She's an Ifa. So when she wears her yellow, that's Oshun.
Oh.
Riches and beauty, love, and all of that. Which I can see why she's connected to Oshun. But yeah, so it's another kind of tradition.
Okay.
Like a lot of people would think but it's really Ifa. So it's like a lifestyle as a religion.
Because I always wonder why y'all on them flowers and all that elaborate. I'm like, can nobody buy your clothes? Your clothes look different.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
She probably gives her, so she has her own altar. She gives her food. She has parties for her. All of that. Just like Summer Walker.
It's the same thing with Taylor Swift, who performed a full-on ritual during her live performance. What's interesting about this is that after people attended her concert, they claimed that they couldn't even remember attending the concert.
You spent almost $1,000 on a ticket, right? You can't remember anything?
It felt like so real. Afterwards, as we were leaving, I was like, did she play this song? I don't remember this song. I don't remember her doing that. And little things like that, but I do remember going to the concert.
Women like Azalea Banks and Lana Del Rey also confirmed that they're witches. Even the actor Vanessa Hudgens admits the same thing.
Coming out as a witch?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
It's been such a journey, and I kind of had an awakening and had so many questions, was so curious. I was very much on this idea of like a spiritual brigade, and I kind of wanted to figure out who they were specifically so I can be more intimate with them.
Hollywood is full of witches in disguise. While they were hiding for years, they no longer have a need to hide because we're now in the age of Horus. This is why people like Ariana Grande openly admit they're witches and no one even reacts. They have turned the wicked ways once seen as demonic into a normal occurrence. Ariana Grande did become massive, but she had to take the oath like the rest of the puppets to achieve that. We have to be aware who we give our attention to. Millions of people who are listening to Ariana Grande and looking up to her didn't know that she was a witch. The whole time she has been an occultist, hiding occult teachings and witchcraft into her music that her fans have been exposing themselves to. Grande has been playing with forbidden knowledge, a craft taught by the devil and his followers. You have to remember what these artists are here for. They're here to guide us away from God. We must remember that every day we wake up, our souls are at stake. And we also must remember to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Well, I'm gonna end this one here, but before you guys go, I just wanted to politely ask you to like, comment, and share this video so that it would be recommended to others. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.